I saw her sitting on a mat, dead. Her eyes were open, staring at the door. And at midnight, she stood up and walked out, even though she was not breathing. That was how I knew Adebimpe, the most beautiful girl in our village, had married a ghost. Let me tell you how it all started. One day, a strange man in spotless white agbada rode into our village on a black horse, asking for her hand in marriage. Adebimpe was the daughter of Baba Isale, the chief hunter. Her beauty was the talk of every palm wine joint. Her skin was like fresh palm oil. Her eyes big and shining, like water in a calabash. Her waist slim like a new broom. And her voice was like morning birds when she greets elders. All the young men wanted her, but she said she was waiting for the right man. One evening, a man nobody knew came to our village. He wore a white agbada that did not have dust on it. Even after he walked through our red earth road, he was tall, dark, with strong eyes that you could not look at for long. He told the elders he was looking for a wife, and he heard about Adebimpe's beauty. People warned Baba Isale, but he said if the man could pay the bride price, he would give his daughter. The man brought a big bag of cowries, a big ram, and 6 bottles of chinapes. Everyone celebrated the wedding. I was there, dancing and spraying money, while the talking drums was calling Adebimpe's name. But that night, something strange happened. The new husband did not stay in the village. He took Adebimpe away on a horse that was as black as night, and they disappeared into the thick forest path that leads towards the old river. People said it was normal for the husband to take his wife home, but when 3 days passed and they did not return, Baba Isale became restless. On the fourth day, around dawn, I saw Adebimpe coming from the path of the old river. She was wearing the same iru and buba from our wedding, but it was wet, dripping and smelling like fish water. Her feet were muddy and all her eyes looked empty. When I tried to call her, she did not answer me. She went straight to her father's house and lay on a mat. But here is the part that made my chest tight. She was cold. Her skin was like the coldness of the river at dawn. She was not breathing, but her eyes were open. She was dead, but she was sitting up on a mat. Baba Isale called the elders and they tried to pray, but nothing changed. She would sit on the mat, look at the door, waiting as if someone would come for her. At night, people said they could hear her talking to someone outside the hut. Some people said they saw the man in white agbada standing under the big iroko tree, their compound calling her in a low voice, Bimpe, Bimpe. Whenever someone tried to touch her, her body falls. But when they left her alone, she would sit up again, eyes open, looking. The village priest said she had married a spirit husband, a ghost, and he had come to collect her. We tried to bury her, but every time we dug the ground, the earth would fill itself back. We tried to carry her to the grave, but her eyes would open wider, and we would hear a deep voice, "Leave her, It was like the wind was talking. Baba Isale was crying, shouting that they should take the cowries and the chinap's back, but nobody knew where to take them. For 7 days, Adebimpe sat like that, cold, dead, and waiting. At night, I saw her shadow moving outside, even though her body was on the mat inside. On the seventh night, I heard a horse neighing outside. I was peeping through the crack of my window. I saw him. The man in white was standing by the old tree with his horse beside him. He was smiling and the wind was blowing around him, but his agbada was not moving. He raised his hand and Adebimpe stood up. Her body moved like a cloth carried by breeze. She walked out of the house, her eyes still open. Baba Isale tried to hold her, but he fell down. And when he stood up, she was gone. She climbed the horse behind the man and they rode toward the old river. The next morning, we found her wrapper and beads by the river bank. Her footprints ended at the edge of the water, but there was no sign of struggle. She was gone. The priest said she had married a ghost from the river, an Ijanu that came in human form because of her beauty. They said she would now live in the spirit world as his wife. Nobody could bring her back. After that day, every evening near the river, you could hear her voice singing softly, "My father, I cannot return. My father, I cannot return." If you go near that river at night, you will see a shadow of a woman combing her hair, her eyes shining like the water in calabash, waiting for her ghost husband to return from his hunt. Sometimes, I still dream of her in my dream. She calls my name, Tayo, Tayo. When I wake up, I hear the sound of a horse outside my window, and the cold air will enter my room, even if the night is hot. They say it is because I saw her on that first day that I became exposed to her spirit husband part. So, if you ever see a stranger in white come to your village asking to marry the most beautiful girl and he has no family and no dust on his shoes, tell your people to run, or else the river will collect her and she will come back cold with open eyes, waiting for her ghost husband to take her home.